Welcome to the enchanting world of Eldhaven, where the whispers of the River Lyra awaken lost memories and unveil hidden truths. Join Alara and her friends as they embark on a journey that intertwines their pasts with the magic of the forest, uncovering secrets that could change the course of their village forever. As you immerse yourself in their quest, feel free to enjoy this captivating tale while relaxing, cooking, or engaging in other activities. Let the vibrant storytelling transport you to a realm where ancient legends come alive and destiny awaits at every turn. If you enjoy the adventure, please consider giving a like and subscribing. Let's continue this journey together and unlock more mysteries in the land of Eldhaven. As I tread through the familiar paths of Eldenwood Forest, a chill envelops the air, sending shivers down my spine. It used to be my sanctuary, a living tapestry woven together by vibrant greens, rustling leaves, and the songs of birds that filled the hollow spaces. But now, as I walk beneath the once proud boughs, I can almost hear the forest groan in despair. The leaves, once lush with life, hang lifeless and brittle, their colors faded to hues of decay. It feels as though Eldenwood itself mourns, and with each step I partake in its sorrow. I notice the way the animals scurried about, their movements frantic and disjointed. A fox, usually so bold and inquisitive, lingered in the shadows, its fur bristling with tension. Even the usual soft rustle of grass gave way to an unsettling silence that enveloped me. I felt their eyes, wild with fear and uncertainty. What could have stripped them of their instinctual calm and replaced it with such urgency? Something was wrong, deeply wrong. As I traversed further into the heart of the forest, the light began to fade, casting eerie shadows that danced along the ground. Those shadows seemed to whisper secrets, born from a time when the forest thrived, where laughter rang clear and the air was fragrant with blooming life. My heart quickened, as if it too was being beckoned by the tales hidden within the leaves. There was a beckoning mystery woven into the night, drawing me closer to the source of this malaise. An unsettling old magic stirred in my mind, one that felt both familiar and foreign. I remembered the stories passed down through generations, whispering through the air like the gentle breeze. Eldenwood was said to be alive, a being of ancient wisdom that provided sanctuary for those who respected its realm. It was also said to have a heart, an ancient tree that towered above all, its trunk wide, carved with a throne meant for a guardian. If that legend rang true, might this tree hold the answers I sought? Or had the guardians failed, abandoned the forest to its slow demise? As I walked deeper into the shadow of the trees, I could feel the pulse of the forest synchronizing with my own heartbeats. I stopped before an ancient oak, twisted and gnarled, its bark rough under my fingertips. A sense of resolve settled within me. I would uncover the cause of this decay. Something in my gut told me that the very essence of the Eldenwood, and perhaps even my own spirit, depended on it. With the sun's final rays slipping below the horizon, I inhaled deeply, drinking in the scent of damp earth and fading leaves, letting it ground me. I whispered a silent promise to the forest, to listen, to seek, and to act. My fingers brushed against the old runes etched into the bark of the oak as if awakening the spirits within. Little did I know, every choice I made from that moment onward would intertwine my destiny with that of Eldenwood. I took a brave step into the unknown, ready to face whatever shadows awaited me, for deep down, I knew that this journey would change everything I understood about life, magic, and the binding threads between them. In the heart of Eldenwood, where the ancient trees grew denser and the whispers morphed into the anxious murmurs of my village, I made my way towards the clearing where the townsfolk had gathered. The fading light painted the sky a melancholic blend of gold and purple, as if the sun too mourned the plight of our home. A heavy tension hung in the air, thick with the weight of uncertainty and fear. Around me, the villagers exchanged worried glances, their brows furrowed, lips drawn tight with unspoken words. As I entered the clearing, I could hear them, the clamor of discontent rising like a storm. Crops that once flourished in abundance had failed, leaving the fields bare and dust-laden. Water sources that used to bubble with life had reduced to mere trickles, and even the streams, which sang joyfully in the past, now croaked in denial. It was as if the very spirit of the land was unraveling, leaving behind a husk of what used to be. My heart sank as I saw the elderly gathering by the fire, their faces contorted not only with age but with the strain of despair. Stories of misfortune spread like wildfire, a rumor here, an accusation there, like the flickering flames that cast distorted shadows on their weathered faces. As the murmur of voices grew louder, I felt a call to action rising within me, ignited by the stories I had heard in whispers as a child. Old legends began to resurface among the clamor, tales of the great tree, the heart of Eldenwood, rumored to be the lifeblood of the forest itself. The townsfolk speculated that its withering had brought upon us this suffering, that the tree's power, once unparalleled, had dimmed as the world around it mirrored its fate. I recognized those legends, deep and resonant. They spoke of a time when the great tree stood tall and proud, a sentinel of magic and life, revered by guardian spirits. But now, that tree was shrouded in mystery and uncertainty, its towering form barely visible through the looming shadows thrown by the encroaching dusk. As I listened to the heated debates among the villagers, I could not shake the feeling that the answers lay with me. I had heard callings in the forest, felt its pulse beneath my fingertips, and learned of its ancient magic. I needed to approach the great tree, find the throne carved into its bark, and uncover its secrets. Maybe, just maybe, I could restore balance to our ailing land. But first, I needed to quell the rising storm among my people. I stepped forward, confronting the knot of anxious faces turned towards me. My voice broke through the noise, steady yet filled with conviction. I shared my experience from earlier in the woods, the whispers I had heard, and the ancient stories I had unearthed. I spoke of the great tree, its potential as a bastion of hope, and its connection to the very fabric of our land. The murmurs quieted, and the atmosphere thickened with a mix of disbelief and hope. Darian, our village's burly blacksmith, crossed his arms and scoffed. "You think merely seeking that tree will save us? The forest has turned against us. What power could a mere child possess to change that?" I met his gaze with fire burning in my heart. It was a guardian's duty to protect this land, and now it seems the forest has been left unattended for too long. Perhaps all we need is to remember how to listen again, how to awaken the spirits that rest within. We cannot afford to let fear drive us apart. We must unite, and I will seek the throne of the great tree. But I need your support, your strength, for this journey calls for resilience from us all. I sensed the shift in the air as my words hung in the dying light. Skepticism remained, but intrigue sparked in some of their eyes. As the discussion resumed, I began to feel the resolve strengthen within me like a growing ember ready to ignite. I understood now that this wasn't just a quest for my own answers. It was a journey for all of us. As the last vestiges of sunlight surrendered to darkness, I steeled myself for the road ahead. I knew I had to seek the great tree. Its throne might hold irretrievable power to restore what was lost or to unleash devastation beyond imagination. Whatever lay ahead, I was determined to embrace it. For the fate of Eldenwood rested on the fragile balance between hope and despair. And it was a balance I was ready to restore. Armed with nothing but my determination, a heavy heart, and a tattered map from an old tome, I set forth into the depths of Eldenwood Forest. The air thickened around me as I crossed the threshold from the familiar paths into the shadowy embrace of ancient trees. Each step forward, the rustling leaves whispered forgotten secrets, and I could feel a sense of foreboding curling around me like a dense fog challenging my resolve. The sun had all but vanished, obscured by immense canopies that loomed high above. Shadows danced beneath the heavy limbs, flickering like ethereal flames that seemed to guide me deeper into the woods. I clutched the frayed edges of my map, its markings faded but crucial, a guide to lost paths only the bravest dared to traverse. Gnarled roots jutted from the earth, twisting like the very memories etched into them, beckoning me to discover what was hidden beneath the surface. As I navigated the winding trails, the whispers of the forest grew louder, merging with the rustling of the leaves. It was as if the very air pulsated with the echoes of countless guardians who had once roamed this land. In moments of stillness, I felt their presence flickering just beyond my sight, spirits entwined with the very essence of Eldenwood, guiding me toward my destiny. I followed their light through a narrow path, pushed back by ferns and flowers long forgotten by the sun. An ancient glade opened before me, revealing the faint outlines of towering stones covered in lichen and moss, remnants of an era past. My heart raced, for the air buzzed with energy, as if the stones themselves were whispering tales of duty and sacrifice. I approached the largest stone, its surface engraved with runes I could barely decipher, but they radiated warmth beneath my fingertips. With each runic symbol I traced, fragments of history flooded my mind, a tapestry woven from threads of courage and heartache. I saw the guardians who had once stood here, they resolute in their commitment to protect Eldenwood, facing trials that tested not only their strength, but their very spirits. I felt their pain as they grappled with the burdens of their roles, the weight of loss and the anguish that had seeped into the soil when they could not save that which they loved. "Remember, child of the forest," a voice echoed softly through the glade, as gentle as a breeze but powerful enough to resonate deep within my core. I turned, and for a fleeting moment, I caught a glimpse of a spirit, a luminous figure clad in vine and light, eyes mirroring the essence of the woods. The guardian's form shimmered, and though it was there and then gone, the message lingered like a promise. I stood still, absorbing its significance. The trials faced by those guardians were not unlike my own. They had persevered in search of the great tree, driven by a hope woven tightly between despair and possibility. I realized then that I was not alone. I carried the hopes of the villagers with me, their trust woven into the very fabric of my journey. The path before me began to shift, revealing a more evident trail. As I followed it deeper, I discovered yet another glade, this one vibrant with a spectrum of flora I had never encountered, a sanctuary where life still thrived against the odds. The colors burst forth like laughter, a reminder that hope existed even in the darkest places. I saw what remained of the spirits, not as harbingers of fear, but as teachers of resilience. Guided by these echoes, I stumbled upon an ancient tree, older than any I had seen. Its trunk was thick, and its bark bore scars from battles fought long ago, a testament to survival. The spirits danced around it, illuminating the sacred roots that fed into the earth. As I knelt beside the tree, I could almost hear the whispers becoming a melody, a song of unity born from the pain of the past. The connection to the great tree tightened once more in that moment. Whatever trials lay ahead, I felt an unshakable bond between me and the guardians who went before me. I understood that my journey was intertwined with theirs, and the wisdom they had uncovered was now mine to seize. With renewed determination, I pushed onward, deeper into the forest's embrace. I carried with me not only the map that might lead to the throne, but the echoes of those who had fought for this land. They were my mentors, spirits of the past, illuminating the path through their trials and tribulations, guiding my steps toward the great tree. It was a journey I would undertake for the sake of Eldenwood, for the villagers awaiting news, and for the forgotten guardians whose sacrifices were etched into my heart. Each step I took carried the promise of a brighter tomorrow, a healing that began with understanding the stories veiled in shadows. I finally stood before the ancient tree, my heart pounding in my chest as adrenaline surged through my veins. It towered above me with a majesty that felt otherworldly, its immense form laden with both grandeur and an echo of sorrow that resonated deep within my soul. Gnarled branches reached skyward like arms yearning for a reunion with the stars, their leaves shimmering like gold in the fading light. This was the heart of Eldenwood, the great tree, the very source of life for the forest and its guardians. As I approached, I caught sight of the throne intricately carved to its bark, a seat hollowed by time and memory, a testimony to the guardians who had once settled there, shoulders weighed down by duty and whispered legends. An irresistible force pulled me closer, as if the throne itself beckoned me to touch it, to claim my destiny. My fingers trembled as I extended my hand, brushing against the smooth, weathered wood, and in that moment, the world around me dissolved. Visions flooded my mind like a rushing river, overwhelming yet clear. I saw the tree in its prime, roots sprawling with vigor, and branches bursting with life. It was a sanctuary, teeming with joy and laughter. Spirits danced among the leaves, and the forest thrummed with energy. But then the images darkened, and I felt the weight of torment pressing down upon the great tree. I experienced the anguish of the guardians who had come before me, those resolute figures lost in desperation, grappling with choices that shaped the fate of the forest. I felt their heartache as they witnessed the slow decay of Eldenwood, their bond with the tree severed by shadows creeping ever closer. I witnessed them standing before their beloved protector, faced with a terrible decision: to harness the ancient powers to fight back, or to allow the inevitable to unfold and risk losing everything. A chill coursed through me as I experienced the pain of their sacrifice. The fire that fueled their determination slowly smoldering into embers of doubt. Each decision held consequences, layers of sacrifice woven into the fabric of their lives. This great tree was not merely a sentinel. It was an entity intertwined with their very essence, a living testament to both their strength and despair. Suddenly I understood. This was not just about reclaiming power. It was about choice and the reflection of our hearts. As the forest pulsed with life around me, I could feel its heartbeat, intertwined with my own, a rhythm that spoke of hope yet echoed of sorrow. I was not merely a visitor. I had become part of this legacy, deeply connected to those who had come before me, inheriting their dreams, fears, and unfinished journeys. But a choice lay before me. I could feel the echo of the Guardian's resolve surrounding me, urging me to decide, to reclaim the power within the ancient roots and fight against the encroaching darkness, to restore what was lost and mend the bonds that had frayed over time. Or I could heed the whispers of surrender and allow the great tree to fade, to accept the ancient cycle of life and death, leaving the forest to its slumber. The weight of that choice settled heavily upon my shoulders. I inhaled deeply, grounding myself in the moment, in the realization that this was more than an individual journey. It was a collective fate hanging in the balance. If I chose to harness the tree's power, I understood the Guardian's legacy would live on through me, transforming the anguish into strength. As the visions receded, leaving me breathless, I pulled my hand back and steadied myself against the massive trunk. The energy of the forest swirled around me, alive with anticipation. The old magic thrummed in my veins, begging for acknowledgement. Here I stood at the crossroads of despair and hope, with the heart of the forest beating beneath my palms. I remembered the faces of the villagers, their plight reflected in my own longing to protect Eldenwood. The choice was clear. I would not let this ancient being fade into oblivion, not while I had a breath left in my lungs. I would embrace the power flowing through me and rekindle the lifeblood of the forest, illuminating its shadows with the spirit of the guardians who had come before me. With a fierce determination ignited within my core, I stepped toward the empty throne once more. This time, I would not hesitate. I placed my hand firmly upon the carved surface and whispered a vow, one that held the weight of ages, a promise to the forest and its guardians. I would reclaim its power. I would be the voice of restoration, and together we would awaken the magic that pulsed beneath the earth. I closed my eyes, ready to embrace whatever came next, as the very fabric of Eldenwood began to shift around me, welcoming a new guardian, a new dawn. As I embraced the weight of my decision, a deep sense of purpose surged through me, awakening a magic within that felt ancient and boundless. Each heartbeat resonated with the pulse of the forest, intertwining my essence with the very lifeblood of Eldenwood. I could feel energy coursing through me, intertwining with the whispers of the trees, merging our destinies into one. In that moment, I knew I was not just a mere vessel, but a living embodiment of the forest itself. The air thickened with an electric hum, alive with anticipation and power. As I stood before the great tree, I could see the lifeless branches, once brittle and gray, beginning to swell with verdant hope. Tiny buds unfurled, reaching eagerly for the dwindling light, and leaves sprang forth, vibrant with color, as if awakened from a long slumber. Each breath I took seemed to weave a connection to those who had come before me, reminding me of the Guardian's legacy that now rested upon my shoulders. The throne was no longer empty. I felt its presence beside me, pulsating softly as it welcomed my spirit. The very air around me shimmered, infused with the collective memories of those who had sacrificed for this land. I stepped forward, feeling the weight of the ancient wood beneath my palm and the resonance of their sacrifices echoing through time. This was my rightful place, and it felt as if all of Eldenwood gathered around me, embracing the choice I had made. With focused intent, I closed my eyes, drawing from the powerful connection I had forged. The spirits of the forest coalesced around me, their forms blurring like mist as they danced through the air, granting me clarity and comfort. I could hear their whispers, stories of struggles and triumphs intertwining, urging me to remember the lessons they had learned through ages of guardianship. I poured my heart and soul into the ground beneath me, envisioning the scars of the land healing beneath the verdant tide that flowed from my newfound connection. I envisioned the crops blossoming again, the streams bubbling with life, and the laughter of the villagers returning as nature reclaimed its domain. I was a bridge, an anchor between the forest and the villagers who depended on it. As each moment passed, I could feel the vibrant energy rising within me, transforming into a luminous glow that radiated throughout the forest. The whispers of long-forgotten trees became a haunting melody, and with every note, I rallied the spirits around me, uniting them in harmony. Memories of guardians past surged around me in a kaleidoscope of color and sound, each interacting, each merging with my own spirit as I actively chose to carry this legacy forward. I opened my eyes to witness a miracle unfold around me. The forest seemed to shiver and awaken as trees straightened, leaves unfurling like sails catching a newfound wind. Flowers burst into bloom in a riot of colors, jewels scattered across the once barren landscape. Every ripple of energy I exuded breathed life back into the land, and the pulse of the great tree resonated in time with my own heartbeat, intertwining our destinies. I stood tall, no longer just a girl from the village, but a new guardian of Eldenwood, a keeper of its magic and history. I understood now that the echoes of the past would not dictate our future. Together with the spirits that hovered close, I would weave a new tale, a narrative filled with resilience, courage, and hope. The shadows that had haunted the land would be illuminated, banished by the light of remembrance, fostering a deep respect for the sacrifices made in reverence to nature. With every step I took, the forest thrummed beneath my feet, alive with the promise of a new beginning. I could sense the presence of the old guardians, their approval mingling with the rustling leaves, a silent vow to support me in this quest of restoration. Their spirits would be my guides, and I would not falter. The echoes of tomorrow resonated within me. I could feel the fight ahead. Challenges and darkness would arise, but I was ready to face them with the wisdom I had gathered from the past. Together with the spirits and the whispers of the long-forgotten trees, I would strive to heal what was once thought lost. My journey was only just beginning, and as the first stars blinked into existence above, illuminating the forest with their silvery glow, I knew that the heart of Eldenwood had awakened, and so had I.